Welcome to the Cover Your Assets podcast, a show for the physician who understands the importance of protecting everything you've worked so hard to achieve. If you're ready to find the peace of mind that only financial security can bring, let's get started. Here's your host, Billy Gwaltney.
Hello there. Welcome to today's episode of the Cover Your Assets podcast. I'm your host, Billy Gwaltney. Excited to be with you. In today's episode, we're going to answer the question, what is the enhanced residual benefit and is it a big deal? Is it important? I get that question a lot. I work with physicians helping them secure their private specialty own occupation disability coverage. And there are three non-negotiables to a well-designed disability policy. The first one is the true specialty own occupation definition of disability, which I've covered in other podcasts. And can answer that question if you want to contact me after this. The second element is what's called the enhanced residual or partial disability benefit, which is what we're covering today. The third element is what's called the recovery benefit, which I covered in other recent podcasts. If you remove one of these three key elements, it's like taking one of the legs away from a three-legged stool and you fall over, it becomes unstable and you can't sit on it. So these are all three vitally important. The enhanced residual benefit is partial disability. So it pays if an illness or injury prevents you from doing your specialty full-time. So you can do it part-time, but you can't do it full-time. If you're a pediatrician, you can work a half a day instead, but not a full day. If you're a surgeon, it means you can do your surgical duties part-time, but not full-time. Okay. If it's properly designed, if it's done with one of the top true specialty disability carriers, and there are only four of them, I broker all four. We have clients on claim, they all get paid, but outside of these four, I'm not speaking of those. There's like all bets are off. You fall off a cliff. So these four and these four only. If you cannot do surgery, but you can still do clinic, that's not a partial disability. That would be a full disability claim, if typically, okay? What I'm talking about is if you could do your surgical duties, your key duties, the material and substantial duties of your specialty part-time, but not do them full-time. And then whatever the percentage loss of pay you experience, they would pay that percentage of your benefit. So if you can work 50% of the time, half a shift, but not a full shift, then they would pay 50% of your benefit, okay, if you lost 50% of your income. And the benefit's income tax-free. That's still the case. But the enhanced residual benefit is vital because not all disabilities are total disabilities. We have had clients where they can do, I've got a client that's an emergency physician. He can do that part-time. He can do half a shift or he can do a fewer amount of shifts. He just can't do it continually or as wide open as he was doing it before the illness happened. And again, it's true whether you're doing an invasive specialty or a non-invasive specialty, it is possible to be partially disabled. So you want to make sure that's on your policy so that it's not all or nothing. If it isn't on your policy, then you don't have a well-designed policy. That's a significant gap, at least statistically speaking. There are certain association policies or group long-term disability policies that might include a partial disability benefit, but sometimes they require a period of total disability first. So you would have to be totally disabled and collect from that total disability claim before you would be eligible for their partial disability benefit. I mean, that's an out clause is what that's called. So you want to make sure that if you have a private policy, whatever coverage you're counting on, that it has this partial disability benefit, commonly referred to as an enhanced residual benefit or enhanced partial benefit. The enhanced part is what some of the top carriers call theirs because it also includes the recovery benefit, which we covered in this other podcast. I mentioned that earlier. But you want to make sure that you have that and that partial benefit is not contingent on being totally disabled first, or there isn't some other kind of out clause, and that it pays it for the full benefit period. I'd be happy to answer questions about your specific situation. Feel free to message me, text me at 704-270-2376. And I'd be glad to schedule a time to discuss. Again, 704-270-2376. Grateful for your time as always. See you next time.
Thanks for listening to the Cover Your Assets podcast, a Work P2P production. New episodes drop every 2 weeks. If you've enjoyed the conversation, subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. For more tips and advice, visit the website and YouTube channel. Check the show notes for links. Join us next time for another episode dedicated to helping physicians like you get your disability insurance right and protect your way of life.